Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from the channel Redolescence, and thank you so much for tuning in. And in today's episode, we're going to be taking a closer look at my top 10 favorite fall fragrances for 2017, so stay tuned. So when making this video, I had a few concerns. One, that I wasn't going to get all of my favorite fragrances in here because the fall time is a time when I really like to pull out the heavier fragrances, you know, the woodsier, more resinous, smokier, spicier fragrances, just because I'm so accustomed to wearing the bright, citrusy, effervescent fragrances in the summertime. So now is a nice change of pace, and there are a lot of fragrances that have been sitting on the back of the shelf, and it's finally time for them to be brought up to the forefront, as it were. Now, this is also a difficult list because I have a lot of fragrances in my collection. I have over 1,000 fragrances at this point, so trying to narrow it down to 10, that's a very small percentage of my collection. But sure enough, these are tried and true fragrances. These are fragrances that I not only look forward to wearing, but I've also been wearing a lot in the past few weeks, maybe even months, some of them. So with that being said, and without further ado, let's go ahead to my personal list of my 10 favorite fragrances for the fall of 2017. And once again, this is going to be my niche list. To get things started, this is coming in at number 10, and I'm really upset that it didn't make it a little bit higher up on the list, but with all of these other gorgeous, amazing, incredible fragrances that I'm looking at here in front of me, it's really hard to justify putting them in some sort of order. And honestly, that's what it boils down to. At the end of the day, it really all depends on what mood I'm in. When I wake up in the morning, sometimes I'll be in the mood for something a bit sweeter, something a bit fresher. So coming in at number 10 is a fragrance by the company Mancera, and this one is called Black Gold. Now, I especially like this fragrance because you have the leather, you have some spices in here, but there's this ambery, cinnamony dry down that carries forth with it a bit of sweetness, and I really like the sweetness about this one. So this is one that I wear when I am having a bit of a sweet tooth, although a lot of people would be very hesitant to classify this as a sweet fragrance or gourmand, but there's enough of that cinnamon in here, enough of that spiciness in here, and that's one of the reasons why I tend to lean more towards this one in the fall season. Maybe that cinnamon is very evocative of a fall day. Number 9 on my list is another newcomer to my collection. Well, as a matter of fact, I've had it for a few months now, and I've sampled everything from this line, and it just so turns out that one of my favorite perfumers, if not my favorite perfumer, has made all but one of their fragrances. His name is Bertrand Duchaufour. Many of you might know him for creating fragrances the likes of Jubilation 25 by Amouage, which, believe it or not, made my list last year, but not this year. But this year, coming in at number 9, is a fragrance by the company Phuong Dang, and it's called Untamed Oud. One, this fragrance is super expensive, but two, it's one of the best interpretations of oud that I've ever smelled in my entire life. It has oud, it has coriander, it has some other spices in here. It's a really unique blend, and it's very multifaceted and multi-layered. If you haven't had the chance to try anything from this house, please do. You won't be disappointed. Super impressed. Number 8 on my list is a fragrance that I reach for when I don't want something too heavy. Now, you might look at the name and you might think to yourself, wait, but this is a leather-based fragrance. Isn't that, in and of itself, a heavy fragrance? I don't think so. I think leather can be used in a number of different ways. When you look at something like Tuscan leather, if you look at a fragrance like that, yes, it is on the more leathery, like interior of an Aston Martin kind of a vibe. Sometimes it just comes off rather smooth, and that's exactly what this one does. Although there's a bit of spice in here too. This one from the company Memo Paris is called African Leather. And I really like this one because it has a saffron in here, it has a little bit of cardamom in here, it's very smooth. I know we say cardamom, everybody thinks of La Nuit de l'Homme. No, it doesn't smell like La Nuit de l'Homme. It just has a leathery, smooth, slightly spicy vibe, but not like a black pepper sort of vibe. Incredible fragrance. Please try it if you haven't had a chance to. Number 7 on my list is a fragrance that is all about the vanilla. This is a type of fragrance that my good friend Carlos would call a dry vanilla, and this one is gorgeous. Pretty much everything that I've tried from this house has been to my liking. There's one called El, which I believe just means him. There's one called Le Trod. I even have another one that almost made it to this list, number 57, which was a collaboration with J. Crew, and that could have been an honorable mention. But the one that I'm going with today is by Arquiste, and it's called the Architects Club. Gorgeous vanilla-based fragrance, one of the best that I have ever smelled. Love this one. So happy to have it in my collection, but also in this list. The next fragrance in this list is by a relatively new company, and I've tried several of their offerings, and all three of them have been hits. My least favorite is one called Genre, although it's a very good one, and my number one favorite from the company is called Spanish Veil, but this is my number two, but it's also the one from that house that's the most appropriate for the fall season. And this one by the company Edward Bess is called La Femme Bohème, which basically translates to the Bohemian Woman. But guys, don't be mistaken with this one. Just because it's marketed towards women doesn't mean it should only be worn by women exclusively. It has honey, there's a powdery quality about it, there's some gorgeous resins in the base, and the perfumer is Carlos Benaim. So if you're not familiar with his resume, please go check it out. Imagine this as a cross between Kilian's Back to Black and Coromandel by Chanel, with a little bit of an animalistic touch, a little bit of powderiness as well. Amazing fragrance. I'm surprised not more people talk about this one. We're getting into boozy territory here. This one was composed by Jan Vosnier. The company is called Cool Life NYC, and this one is called Le Quatrième Parfum. And this is a gorgeous blend of like tobacco and booze. But what I like about this fragrance is there's this plum note in the base. And those of you who follow my channel or who have been following my channel for any length of time know that plum is one of my favorite ingredients. I could go on and on listing fragrances and whatnot, but Le Quatrième Parfum, this is incredible. The next one on this list is a fragrance that I actually reach for when it's a little bit warmer outside. And I like reaching for this one because it is a clone, if you will, of a more expensive Creed fragrance that I remember trying at the boutique many years ago. Absolutely loved it. There's some other reviewers in the community who have even been talking about this one, but unfortunately it is vaulted or discontinued. So for the time being, I have been reaching for this one a lot. It's like 95% similar. It's incredibly close, and it really does get the job done. I love this one. And by the company Dua Fragrances, this one is called Vert Instinct. I was so tempted to put any number of other fragrances like their Effin' Fabulous clone or their clone of Creed Viking, but I'm gonna go for this one because I have been wearing this to work a lot, and it's been doing really, really well. Have been getting a lot of positive attention. I just think it's incredible. We are into the top three of my list, and number three on my list is a fragrance that was gifted to me by my good friend Carlos. So Carlos, if you're watching, thank you so much for this, buddy. I really do appreciate it. I look forward to doing a full review on this next one, but it's just a matter of time. And this one is by the company Nishan Istanbul, and it's called Fan Your Flames. And this is a gorgeous blend of tobacco, rum, booze, and coconut. You would think like, actually, you could see that happening, pina colada, right? But it's a gorgeous, gorgeous mix of notes, and I thought it was gonna come off a bit tropical, but the coconut, it's present and it's evident, but at the same time, it works so well with the other ingredients that it doesn't pop out. When you smell it, you're not gonna think Virgin Island water or Harajuku Lovers G or something like that. Amazing fragrance. Now, my number two is one that I'm so excited to have. Pretty much, if you get anything from this house, you can't go wrong. I have several of their offerings. I even use it as a backdrop in the display of most of my videos that I do on the other end of my room. This is my entire room, and this one by the company Parfum de Marly is the newest release, and it's called Layton Exclusive. I really, really love this fragrance. This one is a smoky fragrance. It has a little bit of an animalistic touch to it. It has a bit of amber and coffee in the base, but it still has a lot of that sweetness from the original Layton, which to me for some reason reminded me of Ultramall by Jean Paul Gaultier. But nonetheless, this is a phenomenal scent. It's like if you took the original Layton and you crossed it with Effin' Fabulous by Tom Ford. This is amazing. I'm really proud to have this as my number one scent. I've been wearing this fragrance so much. This is a house that is criminally underrated. Several years ago in the community, people kept talking about their one release, and you just heard it over and over and over again. And every time I would go to the store, I would always be tempted to just try that one fragrance. And then one time, I don't remember if it was Edes de Venustus or Twisted Lily or Oswald. It might have been Oswald. And I said, let me try some of their other offerings. And I fell head over heels in love. They have so much to offer. This fragrance even made it #1 on my friend Gary's list. So if you had a chance to watch his video, you know, the guy has excellent taste. And this is a fragrance that I cannot believe it took me this long to come around to it and to discover it. This one, by the company Corner Barcelona, is called El Born. And this is vanilla, it's booze, it's rum, it's gorgeous, it's gourmand, it's elegant, it is jaw-droppingly good. Every time I smell this, my jaw just hits the floor. It's such an amazing fragrance. I cannot believe that it took me so long to come around to liking this one, but or just discovering it in the first place, because this is one of the fragrances I was love at first sniff. So if you guys haven't tried this one, once again, by Corner Barcelona, this is called El Born, #1 on my fall niche list. And I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's really been a pleasure. It's always fun making these lists. At the end of the day, it's a little stressful because you're looking at a collection of over 1,000 fragrances and you're thinking to yourself, what am I going to pick for this list? But I'm very happy to make these videos for you guys, and I really appreciate you always tuning in. I appreciate the positivity, the love, the support. You know, I've been doing this for over 5 years, and it just brings such a great pleasure and joy and warmth for me to be able to make these videos. And I feel like as the days go on, I'm becoming more and more and more passionate, dabbling in all these different things, going to a new event every week, meeting up with other guys in the community, shooting videos, meeting perfumers, creative directors, working on various projects, being hired as a fragrance consultant. Like, I really gotten my feet wet. I'm actually up to my knees in water at this point. But thank you guys so much for being there through thick and thin, following me on this journey. I love you guys so much. Please don't forget to subscribe if you're new to my channel. I hope you liked the video. And if you're excited for more content, as I am, please leave a comment down below. Let me know. Also, don't forget to like this video. I really do appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm excited to put out another video for you guys, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care.